request to join right here.
I'm just trying to navigate the world up in here.
Yeah, right. Okay. Hopefully. Okay, so I sent you the live or the request on Instagram.
Yay. All right. Great.
Oh, okay. That's perfect. Why is there an
And we're live on YouTube.
right here?
I'm just trying to navigate the world up in here.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully. Okay, so I sent you the live or the request on Instagram.
Oh, I already accepted you. You're on with me.
Yeah, no, we're here on the Zoom.
You're gonna have to pay attention to one or the other. And we're live on YouTube.
Okay, so I hear your audio.
You just gotta put mute on the Zoom one, and then on the YouTube.
Yeah, because I'm good on this and on Instagram. Yay!
Hey, people are on. Yay, y'all are so patient.
Guys, we're navigating with two different screens. Be patient.
Yeah, we're doing the most. We're going in. We're going all in, aren't we?
Right. I'm
telling you, we are going all in. And I'm trying to lastly make sure that I have it on my screen so I can see the comments. So as soon as I can see the comments, then we're good to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up YouTube so I can see it over here too.
Once you set up, then you let me know. We'll start rolling with this thing.
Yeah, I'm good.
I got my hair on the wrong side. We got to show my Heyyy t-shirt. Get this thing right.
Right. Here we go.
Oh, Bree, I'm so happy to have you on today.
I'm so excited to be here and here.
I'm so happy to have you here, and here. It's like a lot going on.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited.
But I'm going to tell you one thing. And we first start with the fact that you always, so this is not new, you look fabulous. I tell you, right? Ain't nothing like a beat. All the colors going on. One day. The Lord didn't get me there yet, but I'm going to get there one day.
Right. You're there.
I'm trying, honey. So listen, I am so excited to have you with me today because I've seen you in the eBrand Club, because obviously we're eBosses together. Yay! Yeah. I just didn't realize how much value I would get out of being an eBoss because connecting with people like you are amazing. It's like every day I'm learning something new and going into a venture that I never anticipated I would go into. So I think that we on my audience as well as yours. Just for the folks who are with Bree, I am a human resources professional. I work as the director of human resources here in Charleston, South Carolina. I've been doing human resources for the last 10 years. And so I have a YouTube channel that's all about human resources. And I absolutely love working in human resources. It's definitely my passion. And so now that I've ventured into this YouTube space and kind of stumbled on to the eBrand Club, I have realized that there's a lot more to what I'm doing than just doing a YouTube channel. So I offer services in different areas. So if you just click on the link in my IG bio, or the link in the description box of this live, you'll see that I offer quite a few different services. I offer digital products as well. And Bree has been in the eBrand Club where her and I are like, I think we're naturally like we keep the chat live.
Yes.
Like, if it's not Bree, it's me. I think we actually kind of kill it to the point that Sarah probably doesn't really get a chance to jump in as often as she should. I hope we're helping her with that. But with that, Bree gives back tons of knowledge. We do Q&A sessions. And I think that was my first time listening to her kind of give feedback. And I was just like, oh my God, she's a natural at this. Like she is great. Her voice is great. The information she's giving is great. The content is great. She's just amazing. And so I absolutely know nothing about Notion. So I hope that we touch on that at some point tonight. But Bree is business and life coach work, guys. And so she's going to help me with making sure you guys know that there is a balance that you need to maintain between home and your work life. It's just super important. People think that like, oh, I don't need this big balance, or I'm okay. I'll rest when I die, or whatever. I'll rest when I sleep, or whatever. But having that home work-life balance is so, so important. Before I let Bree tell you guys, kind of lead us into this thing, I want to tell you guys that working with different generations have made me realize how important a home work-life balance is, because the generations before us, particularly the baby boomers, are ones that will work as long as they're getting a paycheck. Once upon a time, the generation before them was like, well, my company's paying me really well. They're giving me tons of money with a pension, and they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, our generation is different. We want that home work-life balance because there's a lot outside of work that we enjoy doing. We enjoy spending time with our family. My mother used to work 2 to 3 jobs majority of my life. And so she didn't get a ton of time with me. Our generation is different. We prefer to have a balance. So Bree, help us. Go ahead and introduce yourself to us and kind of expand on what you do and what you offer and just your tips on having that balance.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for Tamika, for having me. As she said, my name is Bree, short for Breana, but people either call me Bree or B for extra short. I am a life coach and business coach, and I'm literally the person that will help you level up your life, level up your business. I specialize in mindset shifting, and the ultimate productivity hacks I love talking about is staying organized. I help you figure out everything, fine tune everything. And work-life balance is so important because one of the things we don't do enough is audit. How much are we doing? Do we need to be doing enough of something? Are we doing less of it? And I really get to see what you do and how I can just fine tune everything you're doing to go after the life that you really, really want.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, like it helps you get to that next level, right? We all are talking about, and I talked about it as well, is taking professionals to the next level in their career and getting folks started in their career versus just having a job. Now you have a career, and that requires, in my opinion, having a good balance, because particularly when you're starting in your career, if you don't have that balance, you're not bringing 100% of yourself. Your work and your productivity isn't quite where it should be. There are avenues that you can probably improve in. Maybe marriages are failing. Maybe your kids are feeling neglected because you haven't found that balance. Now, I know that for me, I love staying organized, but my key to staying organized is I enjoy writing. So I'm not a big Notion person. The only digital product I use a ton is Google Calendar. So I'm really big on using my Google Calendar, but I'm not really big about using apps to organize my life. But tell me how you kind of use technology to help us get this balance.
Yeah, so I actually use Trello and Notion because, for one, all my content planning and stuff is in Trello, and I kind of brain dump in there, and then I structure it and organize it and have it in Notion, because Notion is more so like a database. So for me, instead of doing all the pre-planning of like my life, I do that somewhere else first, and then I put it inside of Notion. But to me, it's easier because I've always been a fan of happy planners, and it's just been so hard to constantly have a happy planner. Like, some of them are so big, and then the little ones, I can't put all of my life in there. So it's just easier to have everything on my phone, my iPad, and then I can get on the computer and see everything. And I'm just able to put in more things and then take stuff out without having erase marks on it or putting stickers over what I didn't get done.
Yeah, seriously, because I just was introduced to Plum Paper Planner. And so I've been using that for like half the year. I also am an Erin Condren fan, but not a huge one. I always just like a traditional like monthly calendar because of that same reason. So I think that's where I fell in love for Google Calendar, because I can, move things around. I don't have to worry about the whiteout. I don't have to worry about carrying it. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. Like, so when you have your clients and you're working with them on that, more of that personal balance, that life coaching, what are some of the big headaches that you've noticed with your clients, just kind of overall?
A lot has been that they're not consistent, or they don't even know how to start a routine. What we forget is that when we become an entrepreneur, we have so much free time. So we think I'm going to work 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to treat yourself like a business, like the brick and mortars. If you want to go get some fast food, some of them close at a certain time, or you want to go shopping, they close at a certain hour. You need to treat yourself in your life exactly the same. So when I see my clients like, oh, I'm still sending emails at 2 a.m., I'm like, what business sends emails at 2 a.m.? Not mine.
Yeah, I don't see Targets at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're right.
exactly.
I think that is a big thing. Is there any other big things like just beyond the audit and balancing? Or
Mm.
that's pretty much all of it. I think all of us can hit there though.
Yeah, but then I think another one is how to know when a routine is not working anymore or you're just not committed enough. That's a big one too.
Yeah, yeah. And when I think when I hear you say audit, let's go back to that because
Mhm.
traditionally when I say audit, I'm meaning documents aren't completely filled or they're filled incorrectly or is not updated in the system or someone didn't
Mhm.
sign something. I'm looking for those type of things, right? Which
Mhm.
takes us all the way into a confusing area when we're talking about our career, our personal life, what that audit looks like. So for
Mhm.
you, how have you like kind of guided your clients into doing that personal audit?
Yeah, so I like to tell them, how do you feel when you got too many things done? Because we really are not taking in consideration how we feel and if we're aligned with all the things that we're doing. Sure, you can have a to-do list that's 10 things long, and then at the end of the day, you're either like, oh, yeah, I did it, like I feel great, or oh my God, what was I thinking? That was too many things. And then
Yeah.
they continue to do that. So to me, it's like you're not honoring how you really feel. So when I say you audit, you say, did you do too much of something or did you not do enough about something? And then were the tasks that you're doing, are they aligned to your big term goals and the person that you want to become in the future?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I guess you do a lot of goal mapping too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like making sure that people know what that is. Because I think people have an idea, like, I guess a easy one that I can go to is I want to be rich. Yeah, but how do you get to being rich? I want to make 100,000 a year. Yeah, well, how do you get to making 100,000 per year? And so
Yeah.
you have to break that down. I have clients myself, and I just did a video about it as well of telling folks like how to get to those goals, how to plan for those goals. So I always tell folks, you don't want to start with what on January 26th, I'm going to do this. No, no, no. You like, truly people will do it. And you're like, no, why are you giving yourself that strict of a deadline? If
Mhm.
you say, okay, within this quarter, I want to get this done, within this month, I'll get this done, and within this week, I'll get this done. By the end of the week, you already like got all of this stuff done, and you didn't have to have this pressure. Like that's where folks get tired because they're trying to meet this deadline. And it's like, no, if you can set the deadline for yourself and make it work, then not only will you be beating deadlines, but you'll reach your goals.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't know how to create those deadlines. And for me, that's when I utilize a task matrix because you need to know what's urgent, what's important.
Girl,
Because how,
I hope folks ready. I hope y'all we throwing out gems, honey. Task matrix, girl. Explain to me what the task matrix is.
okay, so let's say the two big things that you want to do is you want to redo your website and you want to create content for the month, right? So a normal person might say, okay, I need to get this website out, I need to do this, but content is coming up, so I'm gonna do them both at the same time. Well, for me, I'm gonna now say, which do you think is the most important? You can equally say, okay, both of them, because my website, I need to redo it, whatever. Then you say, well, which one's urgent that you need to have done within the next 5 days? I look at urgency between 1 to 3 days or 1 to 5 days.
Okay.
Because if you know, okay, creating content probably is going to take you longer than 5 days. So now you can say, okay, well, maybe doing my website will come first, but it's also not going to be a 1 day thing. So
Yeah.
whenever someone has a task, they're not breaking it up as how long it's going to take and how many days it's going to require for them. Because I can say, oh, my deadline is next week, but you might have to work on that website every single day until next week happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess you also have to kind of get folks in the mindset of just not what is next week looking like, but also, what does the hours in the day look like? Because that helps bring back the balance, right, between your home and work life. If I say, okay, I want it done next week, but then I have to work 13 hours on this website every day, not only am I not giving myself a balance, but I'm probably challenging my eyes. My mind isn't getting a moment to kind of relax. My body's feeling under constant pressure. So other things start going wrong. I'm going to the doctor for this, and this, just to turn out and find out that it's because of stress. And I think people get lost on what stress is. Stress isn't just somebody screaming in your face and your heart rate going. It's constantly not getting enough rest, not eating well, not enjoying time instead of just being on a rush for time. Like, take a minute to enjoy that time.
Yes.
And like, truly, like, one of the things I realized I enjoyed doing this is when I was like, okay, I need to kind of decompress, because initially I was just wide open. And I honestly got really kind of stressed out because I know HR, right? I don't know SD cards and transferring data. And I'm learning that stuff for the first time. And I got frustrated because I initially started with just recording on my phone. And that worked for quite some time. And then my phone ran out of like memory. So it started moving slow and I couldn't get the data off and things like that. And so I spent like maybe 2 weeks trying to figure out like how to transfer data, ordering new stuff, like going from a store to store. And finally I was just like, I'm just on Amazon. And I ordered, like, I got a new camera, I got a laptop, I got SD cards, I got an external drive and all this stuff, and still had some glitches along the way. And so I got really burnt out early. That was, super early. And then to constantly think of something, not just new and something about HR, but to think of something that other people want to know, like, what is it that they honestly want to know? And when I had the super small audience, and that's when I started with the eBrand Club, I had like maybe 200 subscribers then. It was like, I was feeling that I was defeating myself. I was at the time working from home. And so I didn't have the hustle and bustle of going in every day. I had a good routine with work, but I was still feeling that exhaustion. As soon as I get into bed, I'm at sleep in like 2 seconds. Like, it was just a lot. And so with that, I started saying, what can I do to kind of give myself a mental break, give myself some time to recharge, like not just sleep, not just staying in the house. And I started going out to like the local state parks here. And that helped me recharge so much. I almost felt like I had taken a mini vacation. Just went for like a 2 hours. Oh my God, like I feel it was just so scenic, and I was on my own time, and there was like no interruptions. And I totally I tried to put my phone on silent, ignore it, but I did do some content while I was out there.
As you should.
I did what I could, you know what I'm saying? But, it really helped me. And so I think that that's where people fall short, is that they don't know how to do that audit. And when they do that audit, how to do what's healthier for them in the long run.
Absolutely. Because it's something that we don't just ask ourselves that. Like, we're not always in the capacity to say, why do I feel like this? How can I feel a little better? Did I do too much? We don't ever say that because we're constantly on go, go, go. So when are you going to ask yourself that?
Yeah. When are we going to, truly. So we call this happy hour with Heyyy HR, right? So I try to have my little drink. I'm pretty sure I keep finding folks, connecting with folks that want to bring water on my show. Y'all got the type.
You didn't tell me.
I'm like, Bree probably bringing water. She's so healthy. What are you drinking, Bree?
Okay, so let's pretend. Okay, so I like anywhere from red blends of wine, but then I'm also a beer drinker. So
really?
Yeah, it depends on the day.
I'm an equal opportunity type of girl, so red wine's tonight. Like a good red blend. And I used to like it really sweet, but I'm finding myself getting away from that more and more, which is healthier and actually just tastes better. But I'm also I like my straight cocktails, you know what I'm saying? I need a double shot. That's what we got to do. We got to what we got to do.
Yeah.
Another thing is I like beer as well. I'm selective about my beer, but I like beer. I'm an equal opportunity employer and an equal opportunity drinker.
Period.
So one thing we're going to do too is check out the audience and see what they have going on, because we've been having such a great chat. You know, it's almost like we're just talking to each other, but we got to remember the folks are here. So we got everybody that's on IG. I thank you guys so much for coming on. You guys know that I don't normally do my happy hour with Heyyy on IG, but I'm so excited to have Bree, who is willing to toddle both with me. So when y'all see me look down, it's because I'm talking to my wonderful folks who are on YouTube, and I thank you guys so much for coming on. And from the chat, from the looks of it in the chat, I have a lot of like return folks. So I appreciate you guys like sticking it in with me every Thursday at 7. And like I told you guys, it's not going to be an every Thursday thing, but we're going to do it for a period of time. So definitely the rest of October. November, y'all heard me and Bree talking about a home work-life balance. So in November, I'm only going live twice on 2 different Thursdays because I will be enjoying family time, and I want you guys to do the same thing for December. But oh my goodness, folks need my shirt, girl. Them folks say they need my shirt, my Heyyy shirt. Oh, you see that, girl? We got demand, honey. My best friend in my shirt.
Because it looks good. You can't see it on Instagram, but I could see it perfect for YouTube.
Oh, yeah? Oh, good. Yes, I love it. It was a surprise. I don't know about shirts, but not this one. So I'm so excited. And she did my Heyyy HR cup as well. So
that looks good.
I'm so excited about that. What's going on? Everyday Life Taboo. Thank you so much for coming back again, Raven. Jenna J Adventures. Hello, Chica. They said hello, chicas. So that's really
like hola, ¿cómo están?
Don't you start that. I gotta understand you. And we also have my bestie Tara on. Hey, Pooh. I think she's actually on both. I saw her name pop up. But Jen, girl, we got to get Tara to get moving on it, don't we? Oh, Tara said we're both beautiful. Thank you so much, Tara. I know that you're saying that because of Bree's fabulous.
It's both.
Bree looks amazing all the time. Y'all, when I tell y'all, so we have with the eBrand Club, we have our live lessons on Mondays, right? So every Monday at 8:30 Eastern time, that's when we have our live lessons. And I'm like, not only busting about to get home from work, but also take my dog out. And then sometimes I mess around and squeeze in a client call. And I'm like, okay, can I at least, I haven't taken a minute to take the bra off or the makeup. So I'm going to go do both before live lesson time. And I get on the live lesson. I'm like, what? You know, Bree, come on. You know, and I think it's more so like the coffee and chat ones, because that's when we can see each other. We can't see each other on other ones. But like, and I'll see her IG and like she looks fabulous. And I'm like, why, Bree, you making me feel horrible? But you had an interesting topic on your IG last night. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Oh, it was so out of the blue.
Oh, I love it. Because I was like, I'm kind of similar. I had a hard time. That's why I was asking you so many questions, because I had a hard time saying I don't like wearing sweats out. That's definitely not my go-to. So I'll do yoga pants, just like you said, you do yoga pants too. So I'll do that. But when I had foot surgery last year, I started doing more of like the joggers, because it was just easy to get over the boot. And so I kind of liked it, but it felt kind of weird. But luckily I wasn't going anywhere. Like with the foot surgery, I was just running to the grocery store, running to a doctor's appointment. Like I wasn't doing anything. But I couldn't see myself making that as like my go-to outfit. I was like, no. Definitely not going out for the day with that. Hey, Raven, we're so happy. Okay, I see Tara telling Raven, hey, Deja, we missed you the last time when we did the actual drawing. And I felt horrible because we didn't pick Deja's name, but I was really looking for you. So I'm so happy you're here tonight. That's like I always tell her she's like my third daughter. Because, you know, I got my daughter, then I got my dog, and then comes Deja. That dog, that's my baby girl. That's in the on it. And I'm like, I'm on it. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, thank you for coming on. And Kirby, I think you just commented on another video. Thank you for jumping on the live as well. Raven enjoys the red blends with us. Great. Just
I saw it. I'm like, yes.
oh my goodness. Jen is, now you got to read Jen comment because I'm not that good.
So Bieni Thu is responding, saying good, and you.
Oh, okay. Oh, go up a little bit to the other one. I love.
Oh, Tecate, that's just the beer.
Oh, okay.
Tecate cerveza is beer. I was like, which one?
Okay, so they want to see the shirt in black. We'll play with the black to see what that looks like. No guarantees, because y'all know I'm out here like, begging for merch from a bestie. So we're gonna see how this goes. But we're actually doing some samples so that we can see what that looks like. But I feel like doing a teaser like Aaron and be like, so just stick around and see what happens. But there's
right. Yeah.
And so I am so happy to have Josh on. That's my cousin. He just started a YouTube channel as well. If y'all want to know about all the gossip going on in the world, with all the celebrities, all the local people, all of that boy keep the gossip going on his channel. And I'm so proud of his channel because he's been constantly posting. And it's been about everything. So like I didn't realize how much I enjoy gossip until his like alerts come up. Then I'm like, oh yeah, let me see what happened with that.
Right. That's
on his film. But Bree, I want you to tell me with more of so we already talked about the life coach and their challenges. From your business coach perspective and some of their work-life balances, what are the issues you find with them? Is it pretty much the same or do you find like a little bit different?
No. So with my business coaching clients, it's more so them wanting to do everything and not knowing how to balance and kind of looking at it from a space of being a multi-passionate and then saying, okay, which one do I dive into? And then how long do I spend on it? Okay, I only have this amount of time. So to me, the challenges I've seen is them wanting to pick just one thing and then tying it into their schedule.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that. I just might need your services at some point because
I'm here.
I'm like, I got to cut something up, and so I've cut off a couple things. I used to be, I did the finances for my church for quite a few years, almost 10 years, and I was also a full-time HR professional. I've always been kind of a side hustler because I just don't believe in living on one income. Yeah. So that's always been a challenge as well. And obviously, a mother, homeowner, like, and I'm a single person. So it's like everything that has to be done in a house is my responsibility. So it's really crazy for me to kind of find that balance and to truly get there. So I try to push myself to finding that balance because I remember when I first started in the corporate world, I worked in a call center, and when I worked there, it was so stressful that it gave me migraines. Wow. And went to the doctor, and I was, saying, hey, I need something. We tried a little bit of everything and nothing worked. And he finally said, you're just going to have to change your job, and that will stop the stress and stop the migraines. And I was just like, well, I got to work, and I really enjoyed it at the time because I like being busy, and it was definitely a multitasking type of job. And so I tried a little bit of everything. Ended up having to go on FMLA, like intermittent FMLA, because my migraines would just pop up at random times. And so, oddly enough, when I stopped working there, I know like I might have a migraine because I'm on a, ride in a car with somebody, or because I'm on a crazy ride if I go to Carowinds or something like that. But it's not just popping up every day. So that's a big indicator too that you probably need to do that audit that Bree's been telling us about, and to organize yourself with a task list, a task matrix, and to really get someone like Bree that can help you in that area. Because I find myself, and this is why I really felt like we connected. I find myself in the HR space many times feeling so many days like I may be a finance counselor this day, a marriage counselor that. multiple places at a time with my employees. And it's happened in multiple organizations over the whole course of my career, where I'm like, guys, y'all have to find a balance. You know, like there's some organizations that I've worked for where we used to work 24/7. So the organization where I am now, they pride themselves on saying we work 24/7, we're open 24/7. And I agree, but that's vacation planning. So yeah, we're gonna get some folks that's on vacation that's calling us at different times, right? So that is, but I will say, and the organization I previously worked in, where we did organ and tissue donation, where if someone needed, you know, a heart, a kidney, a lung, we facilitated that gift. I can't tell you how many times, you know, my staff was going out at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They work 24-hour shifts. Sometimes it go into 30, whatever hours. And so I felt really bad for them. So I do know that I gave a lot of myself emotionally and empathy to them because I understood it. But I've seen marriages fall apart. I've seen more than one child attempt suicide. It's just been crazy where I'm like, guys, you have to find this balance. Do you get very many clients who are like, I don't need the personal side and I don't need the business side? It's like, I just need a balance kind of with my career more so than just, okay, I'm an entrepreneur or, oh, I'm a busy person at home.
Yeah. And I've seen it. And to me, those are now my life coaching clients because we work on mindset. Because to either have a business or just be in this world, we have to be conscious about our mental health. And I feel like I talk about it so much that we really need to hone in on, how are we feeling? You know, no one is checking on us as much as we check on our phones. So if you start treating yourself like that, your business is going to flourish. Your life is going to start to feel a little more balanced. And then the big thing too is really looking at what does even a balanced life look like for you? What do you think it means? Because somebody can say a balanced life is they're waking up super early, you know, in the rising and then saying, oh, I go to sleep really early also. That might not be something that you want for your lifestyle. So what does that look like? We could say the same for success. Your definition versus my definition might be different. So actually to create a balanced life, you have to know what that looks like for you.
Yeah. Yeah, which is so, man, it's really just kind of scary because I feel like technology really has brought more of the masses there. You have more of a demand. I mean, honestly, if we think about it, back in the, 90s, would you really have had the client demand that you have now? I'm sure if you did, it would be more towards a particular class of individuals. Now, I feel like it's so many people because we have everything at our fingertips. So are we ever really truly taking that break? Are we cutting ourselves off, you know? It just gets so scary. I have employees who like something will just rattle their brain and then they call me at like, 9 to 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, no, get a notebook, write this down. And we talk about this tomorrow. And I hate coming off that way until they're comfortable with my personality because I don't mean it as in I don't want to work. Like I ain't got no man, my child, teenager, like we good. The problem is you ain't giving yourself a break. As a result, you're not giving me a break.
Yeah.
And now we're both not breaking for something we can't get done tonight, and that's another thing, I was on such a high for career success that I really didn't take a break. Like I just didn't. It was always another idea. Let me do this. Let me check this. And I've coronavirus was the best thing for me. I feel so bad for the folks that have lost their lives, but COVID was the best thing for me. I dove into my counselor. I dove into myself. I dove into my passions. I even had, activities of nostalgia where it was just things I enjoyed growing up, but things that reminded me of growing up. And I did those things and I was just like, no, I ain't answering the phone. Sorry. No, I ain't coming to your house to see if you need help. No, no. Well, you do need that check. You will get it on Sunday. I'm going to send it to you on Sunday. We're not doing it tonight. And, it just, I kind of felt like a mean girl. I would imagine that quite a few of your clients feel like they're being mean when they say no.
No, I think because what I've said to anybody just in the very beginning is you have to know that when you set a boundary, regardless if it's a yes, no, maybe, people now know this is something I need to respect. Because ultimately, if they don't respect that, they don't respect you. People
Okay?
know you cannot contact me before 8 a.m. and after 8 p.m. Now, mind you, I am up at 5, but I'm not on my phone. I
Yeah.
do take my phone because I go to the gym first thing, but at the same time, I'm not available to anybody. If it is an emergency, you're now calling me. A text message to me is not an emergency because you're going to call, you're going to FaceTime, you know? So, as much as you can say that even to family, friends, there's boundaries we need to put in front of people. If you don't put them there, that's why you feel that you're now overworked because they think it's okay until you say, I don't do this after this time. Sorry. That's it. It should not be, you have to say more things after no. No is its own statement, its own sentence, everything.
It is. And it's a full sentence. It's a complete one. So let me ask you, for the folks who are new in this boundary making process, and they're new in finding a balance for themselves, and they're new in trying to recharge themselves, when they struggle with saying no or with building that boundary, what are some of the tips that you give them to help them get to their goal of having that boundary and saying a healthy, comfortable no?
So, first, I ask, why don't you want to say no? And why don't you want to set a certain time? And the answer I always get is because what if they need me? So then I say, okay, great. You can still be available, but nobody is going to need you all the time 24/7.
Come on.
That's like saying, huh?
Come on, somebody.
Yeah,
Thank
right. But that's like,
God.
right. That's like a little bit kind of what I touched on, yesterday to where I said, why can't you put your phone down at a certain hour? Who are you waiting to text you, to message you? You are not setting a boundary because you don't respect yourself yet. That's where it comes from. And to me, I'm just going to be very honest and say, if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to put out a boundary. Why would you tell somebody, sorry, after 6 o'clock, I don't answer my phone, and at 6:30 they message you, and you're now responding because you wanted to be in the business?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
care about yourself. You weren't ready to go to bed. You weren't ready to start the next day on your terms because you're still in someone else's business. Now I understand if it's an emergency, it's at 6:30, they're calling you, but now you're not going to feel bad the next day because you knew it was a really good reason as to why I was still on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, girl, you hitting on my toes. I suffer. Beat me up. I
Mhm.
struggle. I struggle. It's so funny because my best friend, she said in here, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. That she has helped me with my boundaries. And like,
Mhm.
um, I want to definitely just point out the fact that I don't know if she knows she helps me. Sometimes you get that help and it's
Mhm.
indirect help.
Mhm. Mhm.
I watch her with her boundaries, and I don't think she even intended for them to be boundaries.
Yeah.
She's like a unique type of introvert. So she's an
Mhm.
introvert, but when she gets in a particular audience, she gives extrovert tendencies. But truly,
Okay.
she's an introvert. So as soon as she leaves a crowded room,
Mhm.
like I can literally see the exhaustion on her.
Yeah.
And so I always feel so bad for her because I'm always like, oh, girl, like, did it bother you that bad? She's like, I can't take it. I need a break. I need a break. And she genuinely means it. I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time. She's
Mhm.
been my best friend for over a decade. So
Mhm.
I always feel so, so bad for her. And that helped me because I was like, you know what? When I started doing, like, we got some little things we just like to do repetitively. Like we like going to the ice cream shop. We like, watching HGTV, and like we just like doing nothing. Like she teaches me to do nothing. And that,
I love that.
oh yeah, like listen, it's like, oh, it's time to go to the ice cream shop. We have a favorite ice cream shop. Okay, it's good. So
Yeah.
that helps me because then I'm forced to enjoy what I like.
Mhm.
I think that's where people struggle with
Mhm.
the home work life balance is because we're so busy trying to fulfill someone else's need that we forget that ourselves, we have a need. And that need is to make sure that you can recharge, to make sure that you can be healthy in a form of sleep, in a form of eating well, like not missing meals. I mean, I know I personally, one of my signs of stress would be that I would miss meals.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't purposely, it's just like I literally wouldn't have an appetite. But I realized
Mm-hmm.
that stress was a barrier for that appetite. And you know, people do these things and not realize, like, you know what, it's because I really need to take a minute and like kind of balance this thing.
Yeah, and regroup. And then again, if you're not setting up boundaries, then I'm kind of looking at it as now I can identify you as a people pleaser because you want to continue to please. And that's a state that's so hard to get out of because you're such a loving and caring person that it's in your nature to want to be there. But
Yeah.
again, let's take it all the way back and say I'm here for me. I love me, that I'm putting me first.
Ah, because you saw, I mean, I know you seen me, but you ain't hitting me. Like, I want to hit me too. Because yeah. And I don't take, I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody takes people pleaser as a great thing, you know? And that's not my goal, but I do find myself pushing myself for others.
Mm-hmm.
So I, again, COVID really helped me kind of build some boundaries to start saying, no, I can't do it. Or,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would even, I feel bad to say it, but I tell a little white lie like, oh girl, I gotta go do such and such. Well, really, it's just, I just want to be home in my PJs. I want to like do my laundry. I want to vacuum my floors. Like you neglect all the stuff to yourself because you're so
Yeah.
busy.
And then even look at that. You don't even feel enough power between actually telling somebody, I just want to stay home. I finally got to that level to where I don't have to make an excuse and say, I'm just not in the mental space to give other people my energy right now. I'm very big on my energy and just my intention. And if I say, I don't want to get out of my pajamas today, sorry. If it requires me to change, put on a face, do my hair, I don't want to do it.
No, that's right. Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm learning that. I'm not. Only reason I keep saying I'm learning that is because I've noticed a big change myself. Like nobody really tell me, but there are some folks that I struggle with. You know, like you just get such a close relationship with people that there are some folks that I truly struggle, and then I beat myself up later. But at least I'm identifying it. I don't think I even identified it before. Like I would just be like, oh man, I'm tired. It's been a busy week. When in actuality, I probably should have said, no, I can't do this, or this is the time frame of when I can get it done, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, we got some folks that came on later. So I want to talk to some of the people in the chat because I'm so happy that my cousin, I'm thinking this is my cousin Ashley Green, this is Josh's sister. I'm thinking she's on. Ashley, I'm happy you made it too. Brandy, I'm so happy you made it to live. These my folks, they coming through. I guess they enjoying your flyers and all your nice marketing that you did, because that's the only thing that these folks on my live. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Here so much. Jen and Jay Adventures said that they're waving the church fan at Bree. Bree is on it. I'm trying to tell y'all. Man, Bree, you just getting compliments because this is the stuff I was trying to tell you in the beginning of the live. If y'all came on late, this is the stuff I was trying to tell you in the beginning of the live. Bree and I are fellow eBosses in the eBrand Club. And Bree, she's an entrepreneur as a business and life coach. So this is what she does. And the oddest thing about this is when I heard Bree in one of our live lessons, I was just like, oh my God, like her whole aesthetic is perfect. It matches her voice tone. She hitting on a bunch of stuff. And like, that was the first thing. But what really shocked me about Bree is Bree, after we started following each other on IG, I was like, Bree was on, first of all, she loved mermaids and she actually had on a whole mermaid outfit and looked like a true mermaid. I like am scrolling and I'm like, oh, Bree posted a picture of a mermaid. And then I had to look back, like one of the comments was like, oh my God, you look fabulous. And you were like, thank you. And I was like, that's her? Like, she looked like a true, amazing, beautiful mermaid. So y'all follow her on IG if y'all aren't already following her, because she's always dropping gems on how to keep a home and work-life balance, which is just so important. I think that if you guys are feeling like, what's me, I don't really have a problem, with knowing when to work and knowing when to, enjoy life. Well, if you follow Bree on IG, she'll give you some tips that help you determine if that's a problem or not. Because the way that she gives you some of this information, it will truly make you self-reflect. And the aesthetics are amazing. So you automatically stop and look at the aesthetic. And then when you look at the aesthetic and you read the words and you're like, oh, she talking about me. You know, so she's amazing on that. Another great thing that shocked me. So what TV show were you on? I keep wanting to say Dancing with the Stars, but no.
No, it was Tengo talento, mucho talento. So it's I have talent, a lot of talent in Spanish.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Okay.
It looked like what's the other show? I'm not good at watching those type of shows, but you know,
Like not
the Stars type of show. It's one where folks come out and show their talent, and then the judges.
America's Got Talent.
America's Got
Like,
Talent. You look, y'all, Bree got all kinds of talents, honey. I was like, Bree is a whole different person. How did I get in the space with her? Why the Lord thought of me so amazing to put me in a space? So I'm so happy to have Bree on here. Y'all, if y'all have any questions at all, Bree is here to help answer those questions. If you have any for me, I'm here to answer those questions. I mean, honestly, from the looks of it in the chat, you probably can just keep talking and they'll enjoy it.
No, I love it. I'm looking at the chat too, and I like where this Jen J said, I'm like that too, like as well.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the reason I wanted to definitely get you on here was just simply because I run into so many professionals, both in my 9 to 5 and in my entrepreneurial journey, of folks that do not know how to cut it off, and don't know that they don't have that balance. So primarily, like with my clients, some of my clients are HR directors themselves, so I'm helping them navigate the HR department to get more productivity, to actually attain some metrics that they're proud of, or get their employees trained, or to come up with a plan. And so it's so nice when I watch you talk about Notion and things like that. So just know that I'll probably end up definitely referring them to you with that goal planning and trying to get to the details of their plan. I can give them an HR plan all day, but you can help them balance that life work, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just want you to know that I think that fond of your work. And when folks just start coming, just know, you know, it's
that came from you. No, and I love it because, you know, again, the person that we want to become is based on what are the things that we're doing right now and how do we feel about the things that we're doing. So whether I'm working with a life coaching client or business coaching, I'm still going to look at your mindset, because oftentimes if you have projects, you might tell yourself, who's even going to buy this? Am I even in the space to, you know, launch it right now? And we need to get out of our own way. And you know, we see it all the time.
Yeah, we need to get out of it. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, right? Like sometimes we find ourselves being literally our own worst enemy. And I think that's where I struggle with you know, with some of my employees, because, you know, I love it that most of my clients come from my YouTube channel. I actually want to say all of my clients. So my clients come from my YouTube channel. So I think that they've gotten an idea of my realness. You know, like I myself, when I'm on here, it took me a while to get comfortable in front of the camera, but for my later videos, I don't always stay by the script. I definitely let my personal ideas out, my personal suggestions, you know, mannerisms, whatever. And so it's a little bit easier for me to say to them, girl, stop. Or, you know, who you trying to impress, you know? But when I'm working at 9 to 5, you just never know how an employee can receive it. And you have to always be so careful. So I try to get them to think within themselves. And I'm pretty sure you do the same, where I'm like, so what is it? When did you get time to enjoy your kids? Or like, I'll say a couple particular examples that I have is one of my employees, her husband had surgery and she was still at work on surgery day. And I was like, so what's going on? She's like, oh no, I was just supposed to see him later. And I was like, later? Like I literally inhaled and exhaled because it threw me off. And then a couple days later, I went back by her department and I said, how's your husband doing? She was like, good. I think he's getting ready to get out of the second surgery because he actually had to have 2. I was like, oh, okay, so you were off yesterday? And she was like, no, like she didn't take anytime she came in late or she left early, which was just a couple hours. But I'm like, now that is not a homework life balance.
Yeah.
If I had a husband, you can guarantee, honey, I'm about to take FMLA on y'all. Like I'm going to my husband. And so I think that people keep moving and they don't realize that they're moving for everyone else and not themselves. This Tar says the same thing everybody says. Her voice is super soothing. Even thinks the same. Listen, you have the Lord gifted you with that one. Oh, Jenna J said, I enjoyed you both immensely. I have a meeting, but I cannot wait until the next video. Oh, awesome. Peace and light to you.
Yeah, bye.
But the live will be up, so you guys can definitely see it right after this. And we were only going to be off about an hour. So you kind of really ain't missing much. So we appreciate you being here. And then Sky's the Limit. So Sky's the Limit's new. Welcome to HR, because I have not, maybe you've watched videos and I just don't know, but I haven't seen it on a live. So it says, this is an awesome segment. Both of you are definitely dropping some jewels. Awesome. I'm so happy that we are, because it's kind of crazy because I'm enjoying the conversation so much.
Yeah.
Like I had a few things prepared, but I'm like not even there because it's just such a natural conversation with you, which I already anticipated. So I'm so excited that we have, a connection where we're able to give folks some information they can take to help them. But I did have a couple questions. And I already asked you one of them, which was, what are some of the issues that your clients face? And so we already talked about, them not being able to, for entrepreneurs, not really knowing when to cut it off. And for your other folks, not knowing how to do that self-audit and to kind of get that goal setting going. And so I wanted to know, then I'm happy I looked at my notebook because I definitely would have felt bad getting off the live and not asking you this question. But what do you suggest everyone do to help them balance both their work life and their home life, like on a regular, like not just, hey, do an audit, check yourself, but what are some of the things that like tangible, or I'll say just everyday kind of mundane things, like maybe going to bed early or, going out with a friend or whatever. What are some of the things you suggest or that you notice the most effective with your clients?
Yeah, so I suggest at the end of the day, reflect on how the day actually went. A lot of times we're not looking at how we're progressing. We just want to do the thing. So if you look at the end of the day and say, okay, cool, what are the things that I got done and why did I get them done, or why not, the things that you didn't get done, and how are you going to go into the next day? Because in order for you to have balance, you want to know what balance looks like. It all comes down to how you feel. So if you were to say, man, today was great, like I did enough personal things and I did enough business things. So how do you relay that in for tomorrow? And as you go about for the whole week, you're going to really say, man, I did great, except I kind of dropped the ball on Wednesday. If you can look back at your week and you can pinpoint why it wasn't that good, you're going to have a better week.
Yeah. Because then when you look back at Wednesday, maybe the weather was bad, or maybe, I had an emergency with the family that truly was an emergency. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I slept in late and I started my morning rough because then I run into traffic, I didn't even think about that. Because I don't normally look at my days day to day. I kind of look at them from week to week. So I probably should start trying to pay attention from day to day. I think that I'm satisfied with looking at it from week to week because, working as an HR director, there's so many things that get put on my schedule that I didn't plan for the week before. That I just feel like, okay, if I can balance it throughout the week, it's okay. But I have no problem saying, okay, this isn't getting done this week. This is going to move to next week.
Yeah.
So I think people probably struggle with that as well. Oh, yay. Sky's the Limit just found us. So happy. And then she thinks she's on target. Look at that brand new subscriber. Just found us from her feed. And she agreed with everybody else.
And I love it because that's how you become mindful. Like, even if you look at, okay, your habits, how do you know you successfully built the habit? Well, because you kept doing it every day. And some days you had to say, man, okay, for instance, we can look at how much water everybody drinks. Not everybody drinks a gallon, but let's say you're always drinking 2 bottles of water. Finally, you start drinking 3, 4. You only know you progressed because you looked back.
Yeah.
People say, oh, don't look back. But how do you know how far you've come? People are so worried about where I'm not at versus where was I at?
Oh, girl, you gonna make me start clapping. Okay, all right, come through, girl. I feel like I'm up in church. It's Sunday, that's all. But
But
girl,
yeah,
and like that is the biggest thing that folks are so caught up on. I want to get this. I want to become this. I want to accumulate this. That they forget to realize, like, girl, you already did this, and you already did that, and you know how many people they didn't even get their behind up to like do the first thing that you did, and you accomplished 15 things, and you're still worried about getting the other 45 done. You know, yeah, that is huge.
that's where it starts. We beat ourselves up before we even wake up. Ah, oh, I didn't even get up early enough, but you woke up. Let's start there.
Somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so true. And then now for me, I love Christ. I'm not sure about you. I hope I don't offend you by saying this. But I absolutely love Christ. I kind of take it back to myself and I say, oh, now I'm not even thinking of the Lord because he didn't have to wake me up. Like now I'm not even giving him credit for being so amazing to me when he didn't have to be.
Yes.
And I'm like, so now if I'm not even thinking of the Lord, then I'm obviously not loving myself. And I'm not caring about what's important to me. How can I get a home work-life balance if I don't even love myself enough to know what I like, what I enjoy?
it all circles, and it all circles back to self. How are you treating self? How we love ourselves is how we allow others to love us. And that starts from boundaries, respect, the things that we're doing on our day-to-day. It's the same.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is a healthy form? Because you know, people will quickly be like, oh my God, you're so selfish or you're so self-centered. You feel like there's a part of that is healthy for you? Like in order to have that balance, there's a part of being selfish that you have to do?
I think it is 1,000% healthy because this is coming from somebody who put everybody first that I didn't know my worth. As soon as I knew what my light looked like, I was able to project that. So yeah, when you learn to love you, however people see it, it doesn't matter because you're happy, you're healthy, you're still doing everything that you have to do. You can't pour from an empty cup. So just because the idea is, oh, she's all about herself. Yeah, and look at how much I've flourished, right? You can't look at it and say, oh, well, she's just worried about her. Who else is going to be worried about me? I wasn't born a twin, so there was no one with me when I came into this earth.
With these silent clapbacks, okay.
But it's it, you know, no one's going to call me out of a name that I don't respond to. So if you're going to say, oh, she's selfish, maybe you should take a little bit of what I'm doing, and then you might be worried about yourself versus what I'm doing.
Yeah, yes. It's so crazy. I almost feel like I'm in a therapeutic session. Not only
that's what I do.
It totally reminds me of my sessions with my counselor, which I have no shame in the game to say that, you know, my counselor has brought me in a place where I, you know, just a better place overall, like professionally, personally. Obviously, that trickles down to finances because, you know, on days when I'm stressed, I'm not running to the store to buy whatever fashion I know I want but don't need. I am more so saying, okay, well, I'm going to watch TV for an extra hour, or I'm going to watch TV without doing something else because I'm the queen of multitasking. So, okay, I'm going to watch TV and not feel guilty about not doing anything else with it, you know? So it's just so helpful to hear you say this because, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I won't say the biggest, but that's one of the biggest things I notice for my clients and even my employees, that it's difficult for me to say this in a session, you know. So okay, if they're not doing, you know, repetitive sessions and we only have an hour to talk about this and you're really trying to get to your career goals and you're really trying to map out the next level, you know, some people that don't get it, like, so there's some people who are like, I know, and I'm gonna work on it, and I agree, and they acknowledge that that's an issue. But then you also have some people who it goes right over their head. And I'm like, we ain't gonna never get nowhere because
Yeah.
you are all in your own head. Like you
All the
gotta get
time.
out of your head.
And it's normal. And you know, I come from such a loving place. That's why the name of my business is It's Lovely Bee. Like I'm at my core, it's about love and giving love and just letting
Mm-hmm.
someone know that I am there. I always tell my clients when we get on a call, they might have, either 30 minutes, 45, an hour. I tell them if it goes a little bit longer, it's okay. I'm not the one like, oh, our session is done, like move on to the next.
That's me. Yeah,
I
that's
want to know, are you okay? Can we move on? And that's something that not a lot of people do. And I feel like I bring this into this space because we're not always mindful or intentional of how we feel. And
mm-hmm.
that's all of it. You want to
Yeah.
have balance? Well, why? And then what does it mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what does it look like? And when I get
Mm-hmm.
that, what is this? Because if you say you want balance and you're thinking, girl, because I'm always at work, girl, or I'm always doing something for these kids or whatever. What does that look like when you get there? Because it's still a mindset shift. If you're saying you want balance, but you don't know what that looks like,
Yeah.
you might not ever get balance.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know
Mm-hmm.
what it looks like. You have to imagine yourself being there. I was introduced to, oh gosh, David. It's a guy that talks about mindset shifts. And one of the things he said is if you think it, you'll achieve it. And he
Mm-hmm.
was saying, like, so many people want to do well in business and want to do well in life and things like that, but they have no idea what that looks like. And he's like, you'll never get it. As soon as you believe it, you'll get there. And at first, for a second, I thought, well, that's a stretch because I can know what that, how do I know what that looks like if I've never been there? But you can create it yourself of what that looks like for you, that idea of success. I was just driving in the car one day it came to me and I was like, you know what, he's right. Because I create what that success looks like because it's based on what makes me happy, what makes me feel achieved, what makes me feel like I've accomplished a goal, what makes me feel like I'm happy and saying I did this, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can envision what that looks like and take a moment to just focus on what that truly looks like, then guess what? You can achieve it.
Yeah. And honestly, it's the law of attraction and manifesting. What we fail to do as adults is continue our childlike mentality in a sense of imagination, creativity. I look at it as I brought my mermaid back into my marketing because I feel like not only was I that in my past life, but that's something I really connect with. I love the water, the ocean, and it's something that you don't see adults talking about cartoon things or, fairy tales. And to me, if you say, oh, I want this life, well, how do you know about that life, right? Like, okay, somebody wants to be a millionaire, billionaire, but what are you going to do with that money when you get it? That's how it's going to come into your possession because you have plans for it now. And if we're really going to look at this, as a bigger picture, we make vision boards. But how are
Yeah.
you turning those visions? How are you turning those images into something that you're actually, oh, I'm working towards this? And even if you're not working towards it, how are you putting it in your head? So many times people get jealous of somebody versus saying, oh, they have this. Why don't you start asking yourself, how can I have that too? And your brain is going to start giving you the things on how you can make it happen. We just don't allow ourselves to do that.
And talking about the law of attraction, I think that's a huge thing is to make sure not only to attract and retain, but make sure that you're selective of the people in your space. Because
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand, like, if you continue to have people in your space who aren't in that positive mindset of going where you're going and
Mm-hmm.
how healthy it is to get there, what the path looks like to get there. Like everybody will say, okay, I want a nice big house, I want the picket fence, I want the fancy cars, da da da. But they have no idea how to get there. When you look, you still applying to this job, they're gonna pay you $10 an hour. You still up here trying to say, oh well, if I work overtime, I get $20 an hour. Like you ain't gonna get to that house and that picket fence and a nice car on $20 an hour, and then you got to do 40 hours before you can get to that $20. Like you have to have people that know what that path looks like. And if you don't know what that path looks like, then they have to be ready. Sorry, my phone went dead.
Oh, it said it ended. Yeah, on that one.
Yeah, completely went dead. Sorry.
That's
So
fine. Still in
with
here.
this IG, I mean on YouTube, real quick. Sorry. I charge it a bit, but that's just how much I work the full phone in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have had it on the charger, but I didn't think that.
Right. That's okay. We're still here.
But that's why I don't think that people realize that it is just super duper important that you have someone that if I don't know what that path looks like, I don't know how to get there, then what I'm going to do is start doing my research to define what that path looks like. And you're going to do your research, or we're going to do it together so that we can define that path together and get there together in a healthy way. Because I could be working like a fool, and here you are working like a fool, but then we're doing different stuff. So when are we ever going to get to these goals of this big house, this nice car, this picket fence? Because we're working like a fool, but we don't have a budget plan. We're not taking any time off to really recharge. So instead of cooking dinner and saving money, now we just ordering food every night, which is going to cost a whole bunch of money because none of us feel like getting in a car to go pick it up. So we having, Uber Eats drop it off, which is going to put on their tax. It's such a trickle effect. One I've heard of it called the rippling effect. It's such a rippling effect in order to find that home life balance, because it's not just one area or the other. It is multiple places where you have to find that balance in order for it to trickle into your workspace, for it to trickle into your home. Some people, they're like feeling so bad because they're like, girl, my marriage falling apart. I can't get it right on this job. I've had people come into my office and say this, my kids losing their mind. Well, it's because you ain't find that balance. Like, you giving everybody 2% of yourself.
Yeah.
You're giving nothing to yourself. How can you be of value to them?
Yeah. And that's also like, you have to look at it in the perspective also of, if I want to get to a certain spot, who do I know that's done it already to now have a mentor? And I feel like, and I feel for me, what's so crazy in a different aspect is I have business coaching clients that are in different industries that, for one, I've never done. But to me, it's because I'm seeing things that you haven't seen yet. If somebody, hair, travel, physical planners, paper goods, and wannabe coaching, and I just look at it as, I'm looking as a consumer. If I would invest in you, what would I want to have? What experience? And naturally, when we have a business, we don't think about that because we're the one selling the business.
Yeah.
And it's the same. If you were to be able to sit in a room with a millionaire, do you know what questions you would ask? That's where you start. If you were given an opportunity to have the life that you always wanted tomorrow, but you had to ask 3 questions, what would they be?
Yeah. I've heard that before. And that made me stop when someone said it, because if you really want to be away, yeah. And the same thing for when you're in a room of people who you notice have so much peace. And then you're like, oh my God, but you still show out, you get this done, you get that done, and nobody yelling and screaming, and the kids ain't fussing and fighting, and they have a fairy tale. Like, no, they found a balance. Not everybody has a fairy tale. Like, they truly found a balance.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's the best compliment somebody can ever get is, how do you manage to do it all and you don't seem stressed? That's a question I get a lot because I only work from 12 to 4 at the latest. And that, you know what I mean? Because I'm also not doing it to continue to just have so many one-on-one clients. My goal is not booked and busy. My goal is impact the world in less time and more people at a time. So if you start thinking outside of that, because look, we're on a one-on-one right now, but look at how many more people are tuned in. I now have impacted without personally talking to one person. And I love that.
Love it. I think that is so awesome. Same here. And again, this speaking with you, I'm pretty sure you've manifested into this direction. This isn't a place I ever thought I would be in. I just thought I want to do something that I enjoy. I want to do something that every Monday I'm not waking up like, girl, yeah, I got to go back to that job. I want to do something where I can still, if now I haven't been able to do it recently because I have a new job and they're a little bit different. But majority of my career, I have been able to, if I lose a family member, someone has a baby, someone's sick, I can leave work to go see them. I can leave work to go to the funeral. And it bothers me now that I wasn't able to, because I've lost a few family members in the last week or two, and I haven't really been able to be there like I wanted to. It's almost like I had to pick and choose which really irritates me because this is what I thought I would have, is that balance of being able to do both. But now that as I continue through this life's journey, like I find myself more of, well, you know what? I really want to make sure that I'm watering myself. I don't know if you remember one time we were talking to one of the other eBosses, and he was talking about something that was draining him and his podcast. And
Oh, yeah.
I think me and you kind of went back and forth on him, like, take it yourself. Like, you ain't gonna be shit to nobody.
Yeah.
Like, when you ever take it. And so I think that was so, girl, must got my whole life. Girl, I don't know how I say it, but that was funny. But we were beating up on him because, I just couldn't believe how much he was like stopping his goals, stopping his dreams, halting his business for the thoughts of others. And I'm like, I can't beat this boy up too bad because I'm pretty sure I already did it. But I feel so relieved now that I'm not there. That is not a factor for me now, that is not of importance to me. And I think that a lot of it not only comes from me being with my counselor, but it also comes from me being like, I've made my circle smaller intentionally. Not that I hate anybody, not that you can be like, oh, I don't mess with her no more. You know how people be like, oh no, girl, I don't mess with her. It's not that. It's just you're not in the space where I am, so I'm not devoting a bunch of time to you. If I see you or we spend some time together, I will definitely enjoy those times as though nothing ever happened. Well, initially that was a struggle for me because so many of my, like my sister's biggest thing is to say, you were always so fake. Well, as I became an adult, learned myself more, I realized that's just a part of me. It's not being fake. I enjoy my time with you right now. I'm just not giving you a bunch of my time because we're not on the same path. And that's how I balance my life, balance my home and work and personal and all that stuff.
And now I'm going to say this from a psychology background to say that's now projection. And for you to be able to identify and say, I'm not in the same place that I was. That's you knowing where you are and where you're going, and someone's still not sure. Because we can look and say real growth is us identifying that we're not the same person who we were in 2020. And if you are the same person that you were in 2020, you haven't grown yet because you haven't gotten beat up just a little bit and said, I overcame this. We all had to flip everything around and readjust. Yeah. That year shaped everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's how you have to look at it. Whether you look at it and say, what did I learn about myself? How did I grow? That's things that's going to happen on the either day-to-day or weekly, monthly, or yearly base.
No, you're absolutely right. Girl, Bree, we can stay on this thing all night, eh?
I'm going to start invoicing in a second. No.
No, that's right. I can't even be mad at you. I just want to say so much, guys. If y'all really enjoyed this time of Bree, I have pinned her IG right there in the chat. So y'all, please find her on IG. This isn't something that you're just going to notice for this live. This is everyday Bree. I enjoy Bree on every single session of the eBrand Club. I definitely enjoy from the moment we connected on IG, and you guys will too. So definitely follow her. If you're like, man, I need this more on a one-on-one basis, then I'm pretty sure, Bree, you have the link in your bio on your IG so that they can book a service with you as well.
Yeah.
And so that can definitely be a help. And if you're like, well, Tamika, I really wanted to know, how I can level my career and get it to the next level. I wanted a resume review, or I really wanted some help with preparing for this huge interview, or what have you, then you can definitely check the link in the description box below, as well as the link in my IG as well, which is Heyyy, just like my YouTube channel. Now, I will also, it won't be until tomorrow, but I will definitely put Bree's contact information in the description box below as well, so that you guys can reach out to her, because if you know that some of this stuff is hitting on your toes, like it's hitting on mine, where you don't find yourself quite giving yourself a good balance, and you're looking like, man, how do I get this to the level what she's talking about? Or maybe perhaps everything she talked about doesn't sit with you. Oh, that ain't true. Or what's she talking about? Why does she mean? That doesn't make sense. Then you definitely need to book some time with her as well. But if you're like, well, I still just really wanted to know about my career, listen, check out both our links. Holler at both of us. We got you.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we are here. I am so thrilled to have you. Just know that my plan is to kind of, your plan is to repurpose some of this content as well. So we'll both repurpose this content. And I don't even know if I have it saved because my phone went dead.
Yeah. But it's okay. We have it on here.
Yeah, and we'll definitely, we have each other's contact information. So let's definitely repurpose this in some other ways so that we can help folks see it in different avenues and kind of pinpoint on the areas that they need to see. But if anytime you want to join me on Heyyy again, just let me know.
I'll be here. We'll have them pick the topic.
Yeah, they can pick this topic. Maybe we can do a poll or something and the folks can tell us what they want to know about. But I'm definitely not going to hold you up all night. I just appreciate you being on here with me. Everybody that's on the page, I appreciate you guys as well. I'm sure that you guys found tons of value in Bree because I find tons of value in her all the time and definitely did tonight. So I just thank you so much, Bree.
Yeah, thank you. I loved it. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in with us and rocked with us this whole time.
Right? Like we almost did an hour and a half. We're showing out tonight, girl. Right. Definitely. I'm so excited about that. You and I will be in contact. You have a blessed night, okay?
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.